All right, man. Here we go. Here's a tough one. Here's a tough one that we got to talk about, man. We got to talk about this. And, a lot of Raptors fans might not be happy at this. You might be happy. You might not. I don't know. But, don't please, I advise you, don't come, listen to this with a biased mind. Don't come listen to this with just, straight blinded love and stuff like that and this, that, and the third. Like, listen to this, with an unbiased base, right? Take away the biases, remove them, throw them out the window. Just listen, and then, let's see if it's IQ and if what is, doesn't make sense. Can you really think and peep it and actually take it in on an actual deep level context, advanced thinking type of level, right? So I want people to have that kind of, just remove that base, remove that, I know the heartstrings are there, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the Raptors. Remove that before actually listening. You know what I'm saying? Before actually listening, because, I might say some stuff that might be too harsh for you, you know what I mean? Or might not be. I mean, we'll see. Depends on your level of, love or, blindedness or whatever. Because at the end of the day, I'm not responsible for that. But I'm responsible for, just kind of warning people beforehand. Because, sometimes people, they get hurt. But at the end of the day, it's true talks. Because true talks, we don't sugarcoat nothing out here. You know what I'm saying? So let's get straight right into it. Basically, as you can see with the title, man, like I'm going to explain or kind of give my reasons. And some of y'all have heard them, but let me package them together in one video. You know what I mean? Y'all have heard them in other videos and stuff like that, breakdowns, etc. But we're going to put it out here, and package them together one time, as a one time for all. So I'm going to be talking about what are the main reasons for why the Raptors didn't make the playoffs this season and had an atrocious season, right? Let's obviously, go into that context because I give you that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. All right, so I'm not going to try and, I know I be yelling and whatever the case and all that type of stuff, but I'm not going to try and yell as much. I mean, if it happens, it happens because you already know we passionate. We do this stuff how we do it. So, at the end of the day, let's just get into it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's have an uncomfortable conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you real, you real. If you're not, you not. But at the end of the day, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. So let's go straight right into it, man. So obviously, I'm hearing a lot of plethora of reasons as to why the Raptors didn't make the playoffs and as to why the Raptors had an atrocious and abysmal season. And people are like, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of reasons, right? But what people forget to do is there's a hierarchy to everything. Yes, there's a bunch of reasons, but scale the reasons. Put them in order. You know what I'm saying? What reason is the number one reason? What is the fifth reason? Whatever your reasons are, there has to be an order. Because not all reasons are in the same ballpark. They're not. And if you believe that they are and you've been doing it like that way, it's cap, and I'm here to debunk it. And I'm here to give, some type of IQ. That's what I do, because people put too much stock into the wrong things and don't put enough stock into the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, boy. So let's go straight right into it. So how do I phrase this? I'm going to start from the most basic or the most softest, reason to number one. So on my scale, the number one reason, when you see number one, that's the main reason. That's like the bulk of it. And then everything else after that is lesser and lesser and lesser, right? So we'll start off with the worst. So the least amount of, the least reason for the whole atrocious season, right, is we're going to start off with the fact that the Raptors played away from home, right? So that is a factor. That is a factor. So the fact that the Raptors, you already know they've been playing in Tampa this whole season, right? They didn't play in Toronto. So we know it's the Toronto Raptors, right? They play in Toronto. So the fact that they were the only team this season that didn't play at home, No matter, forget the fans and forget all of that type of stuff. There's factors that do matter. We understand that, oh, there might not have been fans and whatever. And it's not like Mans even earlier on had fans, right? Other teams. That's not the point. The point is you're home, right? You're home. It's not like basically the Raptors have been basically in a bubble without being in a bubble, right? So when you add that factor, it does do it is a reason. It is a factor. Now, it's not the main reason. It's not. That's why I have it here as this is the least amount of reason for the failure, right? This is the least amount, but it is a reason, right? It's not. We're not going to dismiss it and act like it doesn't factor in. It does factor in. Like again, I said, there's multiple reasons. There's for this whole abysmal season, but this is the least reason. It does factor in, like I said, but at the end of the day, like it's definitely it's a smaller reason because again, they're not at home, they're away from their families, right? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Obviously the rims are still completely different in terms of like just the building, the atmosphere, routines, right? Like little things like that do matter, right? Like before every game, certain things you do, certain maybe things you eat, maybe like, the home factor is not a real home court advantage. So again, the reason why it's not a main reason, so it is a factor, but the reason why I have it as the least amount of, excuse or reason as to why the Raptors had the atrocious season was because, one, that even if it was a main reason, it only accounts for 42 or, they have 72, so only half of the games, right? It only accounts for only half of the games. It doesn't account for a majority of the games, right? Only counts for half of the games. So when you have it at the fact that it counts for half of the games, that already takes away the level of, negativity or the level of, fugaziness that it brought towards the team or brought towards the reason why the Raptors were why they are, right? It already decreases that. Then now you add the fact that, again, there was no fans regardless. And because it would be in Toronto, with Toronto and this lockdown and all this type of shit, there wouldn't be fans anyways, period. So how much home court advantage will he really get? It's only the factor that you're actually at home and for half of the games. It wouldn't, you know what I mean? There's not, the people overstate the damage that actually does. It does, factor in, yes. And it is a problem, yes. But the amount of damage and the amount of things that it brings is way less and is overstated and overboosted for what it actually is. They're not giving context to actually that home court advantage anyways in terms of being in Toronto for real. You know what I mean? You couldn't have any fans, so, how much could you, come on now. What are you really doing? What are you really doing? It's not the same, let's say a team like Dallas who actually could have fans and whatever, and then now you remove them and they're not at home, right? Now it does, again, people being in Tampa, people are cheering for the other team, so it's kind of like a road game. Yes, that factors in, but then again, come on now, let's be real. Is that really the main reason? Is that really a big enough reason? Because if, again, some players actually like road game atmosphere more than they like home games. Let's be real. That's another factor that people won't talk about. Let's be real. Shutting up the crowd actually gives more joy than you amping up the crowd. If you actually are that dog. Those dogs like those uncomfortable atmospheres more than the actual comfortable atmosphere. You know what I mean? Which is why some guys play better on the road than they do at home. It's like that. But again, I guess for the role players on the main of the team, obviously home court. We get that, right? But it's not don't put too much stock into it as much as people do put stock into it. That's cap. Anybody that's doing that, obviously they're, it's heartstrings. They love the team. So, they're going to find is a defense mechanism. But at the end of the day, it's not too much stock should not be put into that at all. All right. So we move past that, right? So the next reason on the hierarchy. So it's not as, fugazi as a reason as the home court, but it's enough. It's more than that. And that's COVID. That's COVID. So obviously we know COVID hit the Raptors bad. They missed multiple games and they missed a lot of this, that, and the third. And people were banged out. And then not only that, when you now come back, we've seen this happen with the Celtics. When you do now come back, now your breathing is affected, right? Fatigue and all that type of stuff. So now it takes a couple of games, not even a couple of games. It takes a while to get ingratiated, get back to normal ways, right? Normal ways. it affects people differently. COVID affects people differently, but it still affects the breathing, right? So if it hits you to where it's affecting your breathing and to the point where like you're struggling, fatigue always, like, people look different when they're really fatigued. Like, we already know, like, you're fatigued. Like, there's levels to fatigue. Like, or I won't even say fatigued. When you're tired, you're kind of just tired, but you play through it. Everyone gets tired. You see them even during free throws, during things, you see, man, they're huffing and puffing. But because their conditioning is right, their outer body is actually going, but their internal is not. They don't feel it the same way how it looks, right? When you see a guy feel it the same way how it looks is when a guy's on his knees and like he's really panting, OD, like how Kawhi looked in the bubble. That's what I call fatigue. That's where you're really not in shape, or you weren't expected. Like, this level of conditioning, like your conditioning wasn't matching the level of intensity and the level of kind of like the fatigue you got to it. You didn't really prepare for that, right? You didn't really prepare for that. You didn't really get the time. That's why you see guys, they come from injury or whatever, and they didn't, like, you can't really emulate game shape, game fatigue. You can't really emulate that. So now when you ramp up the intensity that you're doing before, when you're in practice or whatever, and you're trying out, am I good to go? Like, is my knee, am I healthy or whatever? And am I good to go? Normally you go through motions, right? You go through game-like motions, 5-on-5 game-like contact, but it's not at a high pace and at a high intensity as an NBA game actually is. So you can't really emulate that, right? So what I mean by that is, now in your 5-on-5 that you're doing with your team, and sometimes it's even coaches and whatever playing with you, whatever. But the 5-on-5 you're doing with the team, come on now, like, are you really going ham where you're stripping every play, cut off? Like, you're just testing shit out. You're not really going full ham, right? Now when a game plays and you want to win, and now intensity rises, oh my God, you're guarding a Luka, you're guarding an elite player, you got to cut it off, you got to run to the corner. Like, you're exerting more energy because you're putting more force and more trying. Like, if you just go contest like this, but you contest with a jump, you contest, you know what I mean? You're adding more aggressiveness and more, you're adding more energy. You're exerting more energy to do those things, which is why sometimes in a game you see a guy contest lazily. Sometimes he's tired. But when you contest at full force and you're trying everything at full force, your moves aren't just like this move when you're doing in the 5-on-5. You're actually doing it with conviction, so mans can't strip you. You're actually doing the move because you're trying to actually get a bucket for real. That's more energy you exert. So you get tired. You get tired faster. Stuff like that you can't replicate, right? So sometimes you'll see when a guy get it. You see that often when a guy's in real fatigue, not just huffing and puffing. We're talking about real fatigue where you're panting and you have to like put your hands on your knees during breaks and stuff like that. That type of fatigue is a fatigue where, you know what I mean, like like that when someone's in that type of fatigue, they more so do play fugazi. It's just like, because now you're like, the things you wanted, your brain and your body are in a disconnect, right? Your brain and your body in a disconnect. There's things you want to do, but you're so tired, so now you have lack of focus, right? Things aren't as crisp. Things are slowed down for you. You want to react quickly and cut that off, or react quickly to the pick and roll or whatever, but you're fatigued, so you can't. You move fugazi. When you shoot it, you shoot lazily. Like, you don't shoot the same. Like, obviously, there's guys who are battle tested for that, so they move the same. But it looks like they're hella fatigued, but they're not actually fatigued. So there's levels to this. That for that player who's battle tested, who's ready, for him to get real fatigued, he has to go way past the fatigue that this guy has to go fatigue. So yes, he's played the same amount of 45 minutes, or he looks like he might be panting, huffing, and puffing, but his conditioning is so elite that you won't see, like, he's still not in that fatigue stratosphere. When we're talking about like the type of fatigue I'm talking about. So when you look at it from that perspective, when you add COVID, you get to that stratosphere faster. And when you're now living in that, your gameplay is going to be more fugazi than if you were just panted, you're just kind of tired. You can play while tired. Like, people do that all the time. You know how many runs mans do and you don't touch water for like 4 straight runs? Like, yes, mans are tired, but like, it's not fatigued where like your brain is slow and you know what I mean? There's different levels to that. There's different levels. So COVID, I understand, does affect that and put you in that fatigued realm more often, which is why you saw Tatum's percentages were straight atrocious, right? You seen Van Fleet, straight atrocious, right? You seen even Pascal to start, atrocity. Like, you've seen these things with guys who have had COVID and it really affected them, because there's some guys who had COVID where it didn't affect them. They didn't have those issues, right? But again, COVID is different based on the person at hand. So if you did get to that heavy breathing and that lack of breathing, it hit you differently. That fatigue is a real thing. It's gonna affect you differently. So it's not like it's not a light work. It's a light work reason. It is an actual valid, excuse or reason. But the reason why I don't have it way higher than people have it is because a lot of teams dealt with the same shit. So it's valid, yes. But a lot of teams dealt with the same shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams dealt with that. Like I said, Boston, did they now not make the playoffs because of COVID? They had COVID too and injuries too. But they're still good that they were in the 4th to 6th range before now. Miami got hit with it too. Where are they right now? You know what I'm saying? Bear team, Mavs got hit with it too. Where are they right now? Come on, like so many teams got hit with it. Lakers, you can name it. Nets, everybody got hit with it. And we know obviously Raptors got hit with it recklessly, but there's teams who got hit with it recklessly. And those are playoff teams. So how much could you really use that as an excuse when everybody has dealt with this? It's not isolated to the Raptors. It's not isolated to the Raptors. And I understand how some other teams, when they got hit with COVID, I do understand. This is only a couple of games, so I guess. But the Raptors aren't like out of it by a couple of games. Come on now. They're out of the play-in maybe by a couple of games. So we're talking about like real playoff 8-6 seed, like what they were supposed to be. We're not talking about playing shit. We're not talking about 7 to 10. Or 9 and 10 or just 10. Because man's aren't even talking about 7 to 10 for the Raptors. They're talking about 10 because they're that atrocious right now. We're talking about the Raptors coming into the season projections are 6 to 8 at worst. And some people even thought they'll still be better and still be the 3 type seed. No, I had them 6 to 8, but I didn't have them anything less. I didn't have them anything less. So, you know what I mean? And I did still think they might not make the playoffs, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt. In my mind, I still had they might be Fugazi. I had that because I knew the lack of big. I already knew what it was. I seen the roster. I seen the mistakes they made. You know what I'm saying? I seen all of it. But at the end of the day, I give them the benefit of the doubt because, again, you have Nurse. You have other things that are still there that hasn't moved. You have Lowry, you have Van Vliet. You still have Pascal. You still have a solid core OG. You still have defense. You still you know what I mean? There's still things that don't move, that don't change. So if you were the exact same thing you did last year, I promise you it'll be at least 6 seeds to 8 seed. But we'll get into that. But anyways, the point is that, again, it's not enough. Yes, some of the games that they had COVID, it wasn't a situation like some teams where the whole team had COVID, so they got games where they didn't get to play. So we understand that the Raptors, when they got COVID, not only like 1 or 2 games, it affected everyone where they didn't get to play, but most of the times, Bearmans would have COVID, but they still have enough to play. So then that's guaranteed loss, like your added efficiency. So we understand that, but that was only like maybe 4, 5, maybe 3 to 5 games. Like, even if you want to say 10 games, that's not enough to be 10 seed. That's not enough. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. I mean, it's like it's important, but it's not enough to be the 10th seed. Sorry, the 11th seed. And eliminated out the playoffs like a week before the playoffs is done. Can you believe? Can you believe? That's not enough. Especially the fact that COVID is not isolated to the Raptors, like I said. So again, that's the reason why that is not the worst reason, but it's above. It's above, you know what I'm saying? So again, there is some validity to it, but you know what I mean? It's still, if someone's trying to make it seem like, oh my God, like it's all cap. You got to scale everything accordingly. It's a reason, but not enough to be the reason. All right? So now we look at the next reason. The next reason for the Raptors missing the playoffs and having an atrocious season is definitely like something I tried to tell people and foreshadow beforehand was the offseason / the 2020 offseason / no big. Remember when I said people were saying, a lot of y'all Raptors people had them hired because why? Baines. Yeah, Baines. Who else? Len. Yeah, Len. Where is Baines? Where is he? Where is he? When has he played? Tell me. You tell me. Y'all start abusing him to force the Raptors to finding out they have to actually elevate Boucher and, get Kem Burge and get Gillespie. Like, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. When y'all said Baines was it. Don't you remember that? Y'all don't remember? Y'all forgot? Y'all must have forgot. Y'all said it was Baines. Y'all said, yo, Baines, as if he wasn't a backup center everywhere he went and still averaged barely anything. What are we talking about? Y'all actually thought Baines was coming to be Ibaka Gasol? Like, man, like, you have to understand, this is why Raptors fans annoy me, man. Y'all actually cheese me. Y'all actually disrespected Ibaka and Gasol when you thought Baines would replace that? Yo, come on now. Baines, like, listen, a lot of y'all, oh my God, Baines, and that's the thing with Raptors fans. The minute it goes sour, then, oh my God, this, oh my God, Pascal, oh my God, y'all get on that guy. But y'all get on the guys who were getting on that guy before he even actually was that guy. Saying we had no IQ. I don't want to hear, majority of y'all were amped about Baines. Be real. Don't lie. You can lie to me. You can lie to whoever, but you can't lie to yourself. I know you more than you know yourself. You thought Baines was it. You thought Baines was it. No, he wasn't. He wasn't even it. He wasn't even I. He wasn't even I. Don't stop capping. Don't lie. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. As long as you know that I know that you know that I know. Come on now, man. Baines? Bruh, come here. Talk. Len? Who was waived in 2 seconds? Like, Len? Bruh. Yo, I couldn't. Come on now, man. And obviously, like, I'm not saying Baines doesn't deserve to be an NBA player, but to be a starter to replace Gasol and Ibaka, that's the context. Look what Gasol and Ibaka did, and what they were doing for the Raptors, and you thought Baines was going to replace that. Yo, the man who's basically died 3 times by Giannis in 1 season, on Wikipedia pages, getting earthed. Getting sat down that I'm like, oh my God, did he kill himself the way he fell? Y'all thought that was going to be the rim protector. Y'all thought that was going to be potent 3-point shooter with that Fugazi release. Like, I'm not trying to get on Baines like that. But come on, man. It's about the Raptors fans. It's not even about Baines. Like, I know who mans are. I know who is who. I know who mans are. So it's not even like I'm mad at Baines. I'm not mad. Like, he didn't fleece us. The Raptors fans, y'all overboost. I'm mad at y'all. Y'all, what's wrong with y'all eyes? Y'all thought, like, come on now, man. Like, y'all actually thought Baines was going to be it? Bro, I can't even believe. I couldn't even, but like, I withheld it the whole time when y'all were just talking nonsense. I said, Baines? Like, didn't even imagine no, we don't want Cousins. Baines? No, why would we pay extra to sign Christian Wood? Baines? For what? Now, like, bro, and now look. Now, man, have to get Kem Burge. Oh my God, we amped about Kem Burge. Are you serious right now? Would there even be a Kem Burge? Would there even be a Gillespie? If you didn't get Baines? Come on now, like, that is one of the biggest reasons for this Fugazi season. Was I can't even speak. The atrocious signings at the big. Wasting time and playing minutes. For what? Put Nurse at center. What are like, come on now, man. Put anybody. Waterboy. It's the same thing. Oh my goodness, man. Baines, like, bro, I can't even get over that, man. Anyways, let me get back. Let me recollect myself. Basically, yeah. Mans thought Baines was it. But again, it wasn't. Raptors fans, like, that's why I be saying Raptors fans are one of the worst biased fans I've actually ever witnessed and ever had to interact with. I'm being honest. I interacted with a lot of fan bases. Y'all actually, like, boost the most basic mans to being the most elite. It makes no sense. The way y'all boo stuff is actually crazy. It's crazy. Because around the whole league, they're regular. They're regular. They're so regular. But y'all make it seem like that guy is like he's like LeBron or something. Like they're elite. Oh my God, yes he is. And then y'all go in this defense mechanism trying to prove and come on now. Then when they play those other teams, they get shitted on. Like, what do y'all talk like? And it's annoying, man. Because if Raptors fans didn't have that mediocre type of mindset, the organization wouldn't even have the audacity to sign Baines. Like, do you know how disrespectful that? I promise you. Like, Baines, everywhere he went he was signed as a backup purpose. Do you understand the kind of slappage Jerry West would get if you went and signed Baines to be the Ibaka or the Zubats? Baines? When Harold even like, yo, get rid of this nigga. Now you thought Baines, like, do you understand how yo. Even with the Wizards winning, so we get Lopez. Baines to be your starting center. No one said he can't be a backup. To make him your starting center. No, disrespectful. The fact that they even had the audacity to pull that shit off Masai and them means y'all accept anything. That's what that means. Y'all accept anything. Y'all overboost anything. They'll find a way to boost. They'll feel nice about this. The audacity, like, bruh. The Boston, bruh, like, bruh, I can't even. Who? Even the Bulls. Anybody to go sign Baines as a starting center. You hear what their fan bases would say. They would send letters to those niggas ASAP. Baines to start? There's even 10 times better guys that actually start and people say they're not a starter. So we need somebody else. Baines. Yo, like, my fault, yo. I went on a rant. My bad. But anyways, like I said, that is one of the main reasons and the reason for that is, again, the atrocious offseason, which now led and bled into this actual current season. And that's the reason why you've seen, that's one of the main reasons why, again, the Raptors had an atrocious season, because when you have a hole in the middle defensively, when you don't have a defensive anchor and you don't have, like, it's tough to overcome that. It's tough to overcome that, especially when you're used to like an Ibaka and a Gasol. Like, it's tough to overcome that. The fact that they could shoot threes potent-wise and then they could actually protect the rim. So now the aggressive type of defense that the Raptors could actually play on the perimeter could be way more aggressive, because they trust that if I get beat, there's a rim protector. I don't have to rotate to the rim. I can just rotate to the perimeter. We could guard the perimeter OD. The guy's going to be in the paint. We funnel him there, and he's contested. Like, your whole defensive scheme changes. The intensity, the type of way you play. So now OG, if another man gets beat, OG don't need to rotate to the paint. He can rotate to the other guy or pick him up at the mid-range. That's it. And then go back to the court. Like, now man's got to rotate all the way to the paint because no one's blocking shots. It's just easy. Layup, dunk. Layup. Like, come on now. Offensive rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, it just, dog, you could get buckets all you want. If that's just such a liability, it hinders you. For real. So that's, again, that's, to me, that's actually the second main reason. So I had the fourth, the third, and the second. So if you just watch it now or you fast forward or whatever, the fourth reason, it should pop up on the screen. The fourth reason for this Fugazi season and for the reason why the Raptors are atrocity, you know what I'm saying, or had an atrocious season, was definitely the fact that, the Raptors weren't at home. Right? They weren't at home. They didn't have home court advantage. They were on the road. It was kind of like a bubble for them. Obviously, it's an important factor. Yes. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a big enough a factor. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Go back and scroll back for the reasons. Now, the third reason, right? Again, the scale of the hierarchy is number one is the most important. Fourth is the least, right? The third most important reason why, the Raptors had an atrocious season and missed the playoffs is definitely because of the fact that they had COVID. They got hit with COVID, right? We understand that they had a bulk of games, a plethora of games that were missed because of COVID, so that affected them. And then when they did actually play with guys who had COVID, that affected them because, again, fatigue, the lung, the breathing, the lung capacity isn't the same right now. You have to, we've seen that happen with Tatum, we've seen that happen with VanVleet, etc., right? But then again, the reason why it's not the main reason or high up there is because every team had to deal with it. Every team had to deal with it, and some teams that dealt with it even close to the Raptors or as much as the Raptors are still in the playoffs or the play-in. The same Wizards dealt with that OD and injuries, and now they boosted up to the 10 because at the end of the day, when they're together, they win. When they they win. Come on now. Even the Celtics, and the people even say they have a bad season, they still 7th. They still 7th. Come on now. Like, bruh. So that's not enough of an excuse. Then again, the second reason, like I just said, Baines, yes, the bad big man. That was the offseason signing that they did, translated to this. I said beforehand, it was going to be a problem. And now this is probably going to affect them for the free agency as well, too. You're supposed to have a solid season going into the free agency, which now you could sign guys because they're like, okay, you're missing a piece. That's exactly what the Nets did beforehand. When they had D'Lo and everyone, they were going into there as what, the 7th or 6th seed, whatever they were. Sorry, they were the 6th seed. They were 7th seed last year. They were the 6th seed, and they played Philly. They lost in 5, but they had a good season, right? They overachieved. Now we're missing this 1-2 piece, right? That's how you do it. The Raptors did not do it that way because, again, that signing for those doo-doo big men came back to bite them, right? Especially when you lose Ibaka and Gasol. Now we move past that. The number one reason, and a lot of people want to agree with me, but I'm here to bust man Scalati and try to show y'all that at the end of the day, this is what IQ is. That's what I do this. Sorry, this is what IQ is. That's how I do this. You know what I'm saying? But listen, number one reason is Pascal Siakam. Yes. Oh my God. Yo, man's gonna go. Yo, Pascal Siakam. Really? No, he had a season better. He did this. He did that. Oh my God, the season he had X, Y, and Z. What's going on here? Blah, that, this, that, and the third. I know. Feel it in your chest. I know. It don't sound correct to you. I know. It's kind of like, what's he talking about? You know what I mean? What's he talking about? What, Pascal? How can he be the number one reason? I know. That's what man's is saying. I know. But let's actually dive into it. Why? Why am I saying that? So like I said, again, let's look at this real quick, okay? I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it now in highlight, okay? So Pascal Siakam is a guy, and don't let the numbers now at the end of the season fool you, because there's context, and I'm going to give that, okay? Pascal, in the Raptors year where they were the 2nd seed, right? They were the 2nd seed last year, 2nd or 3rd seed, whatever, I forgot. But in that season, Pascal, same thing, shot 45%. Remember, his first time as a number one option. He shot 36% from 3, which is solid, right? And he averaged 23 points, right? Let me put it this way. At the beginning of the season, and when the season, remember, all those games they lost at that beginning of the season, that stretch, that Fugazi stretch, not winning a game to game 7 or whatever they did, and they were like 1-7, whatever they were 2-8, whatever that atrocious start was. Then we even went past that, way past that. The whole first half of the season, they were just Fugazi, atrocious. You know what I'm saying? Only near the ending of the first half did they now bounce back, and then remember they were even like 4th or something like that. But again, now when they got hit with COVID, because remember, most teams, when they're not hit with COVID, they thrived at a high level. So now when they got hit with COVID and they had a Fugazi level, the losses they accumulated during that time period, again, didn't affect them. It affected them in that moment, but it didn't affect them in the grand scheme because when you look at it, they just had a low period. But if you have Fugazi period even without COVID, then now you add COVID, you're even pushed back further than the other teams are. So now, you know what I mean? You already are bad when you shouldn't be bad. Then now you add COVID, now you're extra bad. And then now the times you did good isn't enough to keep you at bay to be, a playoff team. And that's what happened with the Raptors. So, again, the main reason for it, remember, it's not COVID because everyone got hit with COVID. But not everyone had a Fugazi stretch. Not everyone played Fugazi to start. A lot of teams were, when they were there, they were there. And even when they weren't there, some teams were still there. Right? Not the Raptors. No, not the Raptors. And this is why Pascal is the number one reason, because Pascal is the number one option on the team. Pascal is the face of he's a franchise player. He's getting paid like it. He got endorsed like it. The Raptors fans boosted him like it. And he was the all-star like it before. The fact that Pascal wasn't even an all-star already shows you. That already shows you that man's play has been dropped off. When do you see someone finally enter into all-star status, not be a perennial all-star? Once they step onto the scene, They're on the scene. They here now. Unless you were only an all-star by situation. Now, if you're an all-star by situation, most of the times those guys who are all-stars by situations don't have the bread like a perennial all-star. Pascal has the bread like a perennial all-star. And I'm not mad at him for getting the bread because, again, every player deserves to, even if you have to fleece the system or whatever people say, get your bread. Milk these organizations. You're the reason why they watch you. Get your money. I don't care. But at the end of the day, when now the production doesn't match the bread, and the same fans who boosted this player to get the bread are now complaining about the same player that they boosted when he's always been the same player that they boosted. Nothing changed. Go look at Pascal's G League highlights and go look at his highlights now. What has changed? What has changed? Just more opportunity, more usage, more situations. So I already knew who Pascal was. So I was never the guy that ever thought that he could be this perennial all-star number one option, this, that, and the third, because I already knew his ability was lacking. And not only that, in his main strengths, he still lacks because it's not posting enough. Like Giannis's strengths, he's gonna get his 20, average 27 to 30 all the time because his strengths are real strengths. It's like Shaq type strengths. Like they're so dominant in their paint, they're so dominant in the things that they're good at that you can't stop them in that. So you have to force them to not do that. But still, when them doing what they do is gonna give you this amount base. Easy. Pascal, even the things he's good at, like the spin cycle and the layups and all those, those paint takes, he's actually not 80% at that. He's not 70%. He's not high potent at that. He's not unstoppable at those things. He actually, when nervous, misses easy layups. When padded, misses those same layups. Like, even when no defender, game winners, missing off the rim. What did I do? Like, he's literally missing guaranteed. His guaranteed takes aren't even guaranteed. They're not, if you actually pay attention. But I digress. Pascal, his production that he did last year, normally when you lose, when there's a hole in your offense, perfect example is like Damian Lillard when they lost CJ McCollum. And they lost more than like the Raptors losing a Marc Gasol and Ibaka is not as much as the Blazers losing CJ when CJ was averaging 28 and he's the number 2 option. Right? Dame lost way more than the Raptors losing an Ibaka. That hole in the middle is crucial. But it's not as crucial as a 28, your secondary. Like, it's like Steph losing Clay. It's not as crucial as that. You losing your number 2 option is way more crucial than you losing a role player who plays great defense. You know what I'm saying? Remember, there's hierarchies to this. There's levels. There's a hierarchy to everything. Everything gets rated accordingly. That's what I'm always about. So when you look at it from that perspective, what did Damian Lillard do when CJ was out? And what do most stars or perennial all-stars or that number 1 option caliber type of guy, what do they do when something gets decreased? They increase their level of play because they're that guy. They put matters into their own hand. They increase the level of ability. They increase the level of, of them being potent. They increase everything to absolve and to actually erase or do some type of replacing the guy that's kind of missing. That's, again, you see with Steph. It doesn't mean you're going to be the same team that has the same amount of wins that you were last year because, again, Ibaka and Gasol are that crucial. But if Pascal rises level of play, you're going to win more games, at least 10. That's what you're seeing with Steph. No Clay and stuff like that. He rises his level of play. Now they're actually the 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? Damian Lillard, no CJ, rises level of play. Look where they at. No Nurkic, too. They even miss Nurkic, too. Rise his level of play. Look where they at. Even before. So now when they get CJ, again, man's got hit with COVID, man. Other teams got hit with COVID and injuries, but their drop-off during that time, their drop-off without those times or during that time isn't as big as a drop-off for the Raptors. Yes, Pascal now is averaging 21.4, and he averaged 22.9, so it only looks like a 1-point drop-off or a 2-point drop-off if you want to round up. 23 points to 21. It looks like a 2-point drop-off. It's not even that bad. What are you talking about, Banks? That's cap. If you were present during the season, he started off averaging less than the 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson, off the bench. Jordan Clarkson's averaging 18 right now. He was averaging less than 18 to start the season. Not to start the season, for a majority of the first half of the season. He was averaging like 16, 17 as the number 1 option. He's only shooting 29% from the 3-point line. Boost it up, I give him it 30%. 29.7. He's shooting 30% from from 3. He's shooting 30% from 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, his production has decreased outrageously. That now you already lost an Ibaka, you already lost a Gasol, and then now your number one option has decreased so much. What is the result gonna be? Do you really expect everybody else to step up and, like, they're not the number one option for a reason? They're gonna step up here and there, a game here and there, this here and there, that here and there. They're gonna step up. We get it. But how are they more consistent stepping up than you? You're supposed to be consistent, and they help here and there to keep the boost. Not the other way around. It's not supposed to be like that the other way around. Hell no. And that's what people are missing. That's what people aren't understanding. That's why I have Pascal as the number one reason. I'm always from the same place as people where you get the praise when reward. When you win, you get the praise. When you lose, you get some of the blame if you're that guy. Unless you were being that guy and you just happen to lose. I'll never be mad if Pascal rose his level of play to 25, PPG, and he's snapping, he's going to work, and they still losing. I'm not going to say much about Pascal. Why would I say much about Pascal? He's putting his all out there. He's snapping. He's doing what he's supposed to do. The team just bad. But that's not the case. He decreased his level of play while they were missing things with Gasol and Ibaka. Now you got 2 major hits like that. What is the results going to be? And that's where it comes down to. If Pascal did what he was supposed to do, which was increase his level of play, at least by 2 points per game. Even if he did the exact same shit. If he did the exact same 23 for majority of the season. We're not talking about him doing 16, 17, and then now later on when they're basically not in contention, he has real, he got his 30, whatever, then it rolls up, to now 21. No, we're not counting that. That's cap. No, that's not context. That's not the same picture. It's cap. It's misleading. He was atrocious with 16 points for a majority, probably 20 to 30 games to start the season. That's what he was doing. Y'all see, you can go back in the videos. I showed it, and it shows the games played there. I'm not going to do that now because I'll have to go back in time, but you know what I mean? It was there. And now that you see that, you know what I'm saying? That level of drop-off, if he actually increased like he was supposed to, even if he did exact same 23 points per game, they would have at least 5 more wins. At least 5 more wins. Because that, for you to have 2 points per game, an average, means bare games, you're getting 30. It's not 2 points per game plus. It's probably like, it might even be 50 to 100 extra points. Because we're talking about average. For your average to jump, you need a lot of scoring for an average just to jump even 1 point. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the context. So yes, you just look, only 2 points, only if you got 2 more points, how much is it going to do? No. Bare games, if he would get 10 more points. He get 10 more points here. That game, that's a dub. He gets 10 more points here. That's a dub. He gets 5 more points here. That's a dub. He gets 3 more points here. That's a dub. You add that up, that's 5. That's 10 games. Then now that will average out to 2 more plus points per game. That's 10 wins. Come on now, what are we talking about? And there would be at least in the play-in. Complete different context. I put the onus on the guy. If you're that guy, be that guy. If you're not that guy, I will never blame anybody else first than you. Because when they win, you get the credit. You get the credit. You get the credit. It's kind of like, kids, if you're the oldest kid and your mom leaves you home and you're watching the kids and all that type of stuff and you're responsible, whatever happens, it's you. It's you. Now, if you did what you're supposed to do, and now they still didn't listen, they still didn't clean the room, they still didn't do X, Y, and Z, and you did what you're supposed to do, it will still be you, but we don't harp on you as much. Come here, other guy. Other son. What happened? What happened, fam? He told you and you didn't listen to him? When I'm not here, listen to him. It's a different thing. But if you're not doing nothing, you're just chilling there, I'm not going to come to we don't come, the other guys don't get the problem, don't get the blame. It's you, the main. And that's the same context. That's what happens. If you that guy, if you that star, if you really that guy, you get the blame. You get the that's why we understand. That's why being a number one option is a territory that is not for everybody. It isn't. It isn't. It's not for everybody. Not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can handle that. It's different. It's different things that come with it. That like everyone always says, "Oh my God, this guy." Like when we're not talking about number one option on a terrible team. We're talking about on a good team. We're talking about on a good team or a great team. Like it's not an easy thing being that guy or that team. It's not an easy thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not. People take it for granted. So this right here shows you, right? So you know what I mean? Like I have to be real with y'all. I know some of y'all are gonna be mad. Some of y'all are gonna be like, what's this guy talking about? If you actually just listen without and you turn off the bias radar, you kind of let me close the heartstrings, let me put the heartstrings in the box, put that in the ice box where my heart used to be or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you don't use your heart and you just listen with the proper ears, you'll probably agree. You know what I'm saying? It's not even probably. The footage tells you. There's nothing to actually. This is not even opinion. This is not an opinion. This is just facts. A lot of people get confused with the word, "Oh my God, it's your opinion. I can't have a different opinion." No, you can have a different opinion, but that opinion that you give, or that opinion that you give, I can say your brain is fugazi. You don't have IQ, because if you had IQ, there's only one. If you had IQ, you see one thing. The footage tells you one thing. It's not me doing. People always go, "My God, you keep saying the word, and I have no IQ." Every time someone don't agree with you, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. But you're going to have to hear this no IQ. You don't have to hear me call you have no IQ. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to. But at the end of the day, the footage tells you everything. If you have that IQ, that's what I do, and you have that eye, the footage tells you everything. If you watch the footage and you get a different outcome when you watch the footage, it's not an opinion thing. The footage, that means you didn't see it properly, because I promise you, the footage tells you. It's not me just looking like this, "Oh my God." The footage tells you. The footage tells you. If a man drove to the paint and passed to the corner, and you saw that footage and you interpret it differently, that's on you. That's why I say, man, that's why I say you're not even on that. Your IQ, you're not operating on the high, you're not understanding the game properly. Because if that's what you saw, then that tells me everything. I don't even need, like, come on now. But if you looked at the same thing and you saw what I saw, and it's not saying that I'm the law, but that's what it is. That's what it actually is. That's what happened. And if your eyes told you that, that's why you see the hoopers, the purists, they all see things on the same level, because it's the eye. If you have that eye, there's no argument with these things. The footage tells you. The opinion only comes in because biases are in. If there's no biases, I promise you there'll be no debate. There'll be no debate, because if you just look at things from the footage, we look at it from the footage. But what happens is, and that's why I say you don't operate on that eye, because I don't incorporate biases. I don't. I remove biases. People might seem, "Oh, you like this guy, you like this guy, you like." No, I don't incorporate biases. I don't. If you actually know me and you actually listen, I've actually said this guy, I rate people accordingly. Because I put people in the proper light. But what happens is, because I do something that most people don't do, they think that I'm being biased. That's the reason why I have him high, or that's the reason why I rate this guy, whatever. No, the footage tells you. If you actually listen to the footage, because biases happen and people love players and they're attached to certain players and this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? We all are. But people can't remove their biases, and that's where you get this opinion stuff. That's where you get, "Oh, the wrong opinion," or "You're wrong," is because biases are in play. So mans know that they have to ride for their guy or whoever they love. They have to ride for him end all. So they change their opinions. That's why you see them contradict themselves all the time. That's why I never contradict myself. Because I give context to everything. I never tell everyone it's one way, it's this is one way, it's that. I never say that. That's why you don't catch me in or whatever. I explain, for this is the context for this. This is why this guy might make the same mistake. Perfect example was Devin Booker last night. Devin Booker did a double dribble. "Oh my God, you didn't get at him like you got at Pascal." Why would I when he's the guy who has plethora of game winners and leads the league in game winners for a certain span of time? So if he made one mistake, do I ever get mad at man's making one mistake? When that's the norm, that's when we talk about you. When that's the norm. So no, it's not the same. A guy who hits 10 straight game winner, or who hits 10 game winners and makes one mistake, gets absolved of that, for a guy who makes no mistake and hits one game winner, or makes all mistakes and makes one game winner. It's difference. There's context behind everything. You know what I'm saying? And people need to understand, and they don't. And I know that's why People have an issue with me sometimes and whatever and all that type of stuff, but I love it, man, to be honest. I actually love it. If people have an issue, that means I'm doing my job because, again, the masses don't think like this. The masses don't think like this. The masses don't talk like this. The masses don't move like this. So at the end of the day, like, the masses, you know what I'm saying? If the masses are upset and majority of people are upset more than people are like, I hear you, that means I'm doing my job. I don't ever want to be, you know what I mean, saying something that everybody is saying because that's cap. Most of the times what everybody is saying is cap. Sometimes it's correct. Most of the times it's cap. Most of the time it's cap. What the anomalies are, what the people who are saying the different things are normally the IQ ones. Just pay attention to that. Just pay attention to that. That's what it is for everything. No matter what it is, even politics, whatever. The people who actually really know, if you know, you know, will say something different than the masses. Because the masses are in the matrix. You know what I'm saying? But did you choose the right pill? Come on now, man. Come on now. Anyways, you already know. This is my hierarchy for the reasons why, you know, the Raptors missed the playoffs and had an atrocious season. This is the reasons in order from 1 to 4. You know what I'm saying? I hope that, you know, a lot of y'all could maybe your eyes is open or maybe you don't agree, whatever. If you don't agree, if you agree, comment in the comment section. You know, we could talk about, we can get that arguing. Or if I missed the point. These are just the main 4. I mean, there's other things too, but I don't like, come on now. It's not even, I don't even put any stock into those things. Like if you're a hooper, like those shit is whatever. Everyone deals with those type of shits. But these are valid. These are the only 4 valid things I could actually think of. Like, where I mean valid, I mean like it's actually like come on now, this is a real reason, right? A real like credible reason, and this is and I put them in order, right? So if I had to do a percentage, I can't even really do a percentage, but this is just main reason, secondary, third, and then fourth. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I hope y'all like this video. I mean, I don't even know if I'm gonna do any more Raptors videos until the playoffs is probably ended because they're not in the playoffs. This is the first time since I've been doing videos for the first 2 years that they're not in the playoffs. So, you know, this might be the last Raptors video for now. I know, honestly, I'm doing Clippers videos like you've seen the one beforehand and other videos, and I'll be doing, like, when the season ends Sunday, I'll be doing, like, play-in talks, you know, playoff. You know, we'll do playoff, you know, and then the break before, we'll do playoffs, kind of like seed-in, playoff predictions, all that type of stuff. Then when the playoffs start, we'll do breakdowns of, you know, like the important games, the big games, the Clippers, you know, the Nets, Lakers, whoever. Like, we'll be doing breakdowns and we'll be going ham, especially since now I don't have to do the Raptors. I mean, I got to do somebody, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we watching because we love basketball regardless. We don't just only watch Raptors. I mean, if you do and you don't watch the playoffs because Raptors aren't there, I mean, that's a sad life to live. But at the end of the day, you got to watch, man. You got to watch. You got to see what Elite looks like, see what Raptors need, see what is crucial, see what some of these guys that are playing might be free agents. So you got to pay, you ought to always, like, they all matter. They all interlock and they all, you know, they all correlate. You know what I'm saying? Intertwined. So, you know what I mean? This is what Elite looks like at the end of the day. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming for that IQ because that's what I do. You feel me? It's True Talks because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no drought here. And there's no doubt here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. Share, like, and subscribe. Like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Click that notification button so you know when I'm here. Because I'm here. You feel me? Come on now. That's what Elite looks like, man. I appreciate y'all, man. You already know. And I'm out, man.